Good morning, guys. July 14th, Tuesday morning. It's about 5:45. Um, if you're enjoying these videos, I ask that you would leave some comments below. Let me know how I'm doing. If there's something I need to improve, I'll be glad to take constructive criticism that comes from a place of love. If you want to argue with me about something, I'm probably not going to entertain that. But I trust my friends and family enough to ask them for that help. So if you like what I'm doing, obviously let me know. If you think I need to improve some stuff, please let me know. Secondly, if you would like, share, and subscribe to the Instagram page or my Facebook or the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is actually the best one. That's where more people will find it, hopefully, because this is certainly for you guys, but it is hopefully something that's going to help me spread God's word. I don't do this for me. I certainly don't get paid for it, and I probably never will. And I'm really okay with that. But if I can spread a little bit of what God is doing in my life, that's pretty awesome because He's awesome. So today we're going to talk about Matthew 7, verses 15 through 20, but we're going to talk about two options in our lives. We have the two options of being a person of action or being a person of reaction. A person of action is someone who kind of takes the bull by the horn, just kind of always out in front, trying to make plans and execute on those plans to mitigate the negative effects of his or her surroundings. Whereas a person of reaction is a person who floats through life, and when stuff happens to them, they react. Well, and to be fair, we're all creatures of reaction. It is very difficult to constantly have a plan in place to take care of all those things that may happen to us. You know, you're driving down the road on your way to work, and you have an accident. Really not a whole lot you can do about that. Somebody hits you, and you just kind of have to react to it. But the important thing in the reaction is how we react. I've seen, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not great at this a lot of times. I would like to think that I've grown up a little bit over the last few years, but I used to be a person of reaction, and I did not handle things well. I was not very good at negative things coming at me. I would be depressed or angry or whatever, and that wasn't very healthy. So reactions will often cause us to be that way. When a person lives in reaction mode, they're often cast themselves as the victim. There'll often be apathy, so avoiding action and conflict, so just staying away from it, trying to isolate yourself. There'll often be fear, and fear is just that reaction to that negative stimulus. So being scared to go outside because you might have an accident. And then there's distrust. So living in that state of reaction causes us not to trust ourselves or God. So we don't know where to go or what to do. Now, if you look at Matthew chapter 7, starting in verse 15, it says, "So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets." Sorry, I started a little early. Let's try this again. Matthew 7, starting in verse 15. It's early, guys. I'm sorry. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will recognize them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? So every healthy tree bears good fruit, but the diseased tree bears bad fruit. A healthy tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a diseased tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus you will recognize them by their fruits. So as we look at the two options we have in today's discussion of being a person of action or being a person of reaction, you can tell which one of those people are by their fruits. If a person is a person of reaction, they will often exhibit those things, the apathy, the fear, the distrust of the people around them. And of God, to be honest with you. Whereas a person of action typically has less of those characteristics. So if you live as a person of action and not reaction as much as possible, and forced to react, do so as Christ did when he reacted to the Pharisees. Now, of course, Christ knew what was coming, but when the Pharisees challenged him, challenged who he was, challenged his knowledge of Scripture, he responded with truth, and he moved on. So he responded with truth and often with love, and then he was done with them. Don't dwell in that reaction. Even if you happen to have a bad reaction, do what you need to do, apologize, whatever, and move on. So, because that's what Christ would want you to do. So just remember every day, when you go about your life, when you react to things, you're a mirror of who he is. So if you're reacting poorly to stuff, you're showing people out there that that's who Christ is, because you claim to, if you claim to be a Christian. Whereas if you're acting positively, you're showing them who Christ is, because they see you as a Christian. So take that into mind as you go through your life. When somebody's ugly to you at the grocery store or whatever, react as Christ would react. Anyway, love you guys. See you tomorrow.